I am here today with Ron Cantor. He's the head of marketing at First Do, and First Do is a fire and EMS software platform. So Ron, when you were looking to hire, what kind of situation were you in? Why were you looking to hire somebody to run your ads?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we first got going, we were a pretty small organization, and I was managing our ad environment just myself. And we kept it internal. Quickly, as our product grew and our customer base grew, we saw a lot of opportunity. We started looking for different outsource providers to be able to manage our paid ads. Um, and we went through a few people. And I can safely say none of them really were able to bring to the table what Drew and his team were able to bring to us. So, just to tap on what I experienced before, it was a lot of non-communication. It was a lot of like missed goals, lack of understanding of our product and our objectives that we had around going to market with something that's pretty unique and not a lot of other people are going to be familiar with all the time. And we just were looking for somebody who was able to get that, to understand our goals, to understand our product, to understand our unique positioning, to understand our web development, our content philosophy, and then make new business materialize based on all these great resources that we were already putting out there through being super strategic in a pretty tight environment with a lot of competition and a lot at stake.
Yeah. So when you first hired me to take on your Google Ads, like what were some of the first things that you noticed?
So initially, one of the first things that I noticed is we had a lot more traffic coming into
Hmm.
our website, and it was a lot more geographically diverse. So we always had some paid ad traffic, but it might have been in areas where we already had some traction running off brand campaigns, things like that. I started noticing, people coming in who wouldn't know us from their neighbors or within their local environment, in places where we didn't have any business, which was a huge goal for us to expand into new geography. So I saw that come aboard. I also saw our lead quality increase in terms of getting through to those decision makers. I wasn't just putting out white papers or putting out resources that firefighters were reading and then going to their chiefs and trying to get them to purchase. I was getting those chiefs themselves clicking on our ads, following through to a landing page, submitting a form, and they were on the phone with the sales rep within a matter of hours.
That's great. And then are there any like quantifiable or percentages or anything like that in terms of hard metrics that you could share?
Yeah, so every single year we've seen over a two times growth in our paid ad lead generation. We've also seen a greater than two times growth in our pipeline contribution from our paid ads. So that's really our North Star in marketing. We look
Hmm.
at things like our customer growth and we look at things like our revenue generation that we get. However, our sales cycles can be a little long. So we're really paying attention to, is this creating new opportunities for our sales team? And the answer is it quantifiably is.
That's great. And then if somebody was hesitant to hire me, what would you tell
I would tell them first, I'd ask why,
them?
which is probably the whenever someone's experiencing hesitancy, the first thing you should do. Um, However, I would try to get them to understand, look, like this is a space where if you've hired outside help, you've probably encountered problems. You've probably encountered lack of communication, lack of expertise, lack of planning. I tell them that's not what I experienced with you at all. And instead, from you and your team, we had, really tight communication. We had execution of plans that we devised that were very strategic and very focused. Um, I'd also tell them to take a step back and try rather than dismiss based on previous experiences, right? Like you're talking to someone who's a professional, you're talking to someone with
Hmm.
experience, and you're talking with someone who's going to take the time to understand your business before they get to work.
Okay. And then are there any like closing remarks, any last things that you'd want to say?
Yeah, I mean, as a closing remark, I can definitely bring up the fact that we are in the SaaS space,
Hmm.
enterprise SaaS space at that.
Right.
It's just a hyper competitive business environment. no matter which vertical you're in, or if you're selling horizontal software, and it can be extremely challenging. And you can rest assured that, everyone who you're competing with has a similar mentality that you're going to have. Everyone is going to be approaching things from a digital first perspective. Everyone's going to be they're going to have great sites, great content. They're going to have a lot going for them. So you need a competitive advantage if you're going to make it in that SaaS space.
Right.
And I'd say choosing the right digital ad provider, choosing Drew is a huge piece to that puzzle.
Well, thank you for that. And again, Ron, it's been great working with you. I hope your business continues to grow, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem.